All right. I am now here with my friend, Sarah Dudzikowski. Did I say that right?
Very good, yes.
Yes, I was practicing it earlier. I don't know what's going on with my hair. Anyway, yes, you finally got your first hundo after 2 tries. That's not bad. That's not bad. Um, so let's talk a little bit about okay, well, let's talk a little bit about your personal background in terms of running and stuff like that. Have you always been a runner?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. And
I did not like running younger. I would only do it when I had to, right? And then as I got older, started getting involved in CrossFit at one time. And then it was like lifting weights, I'm all good. And then like, go run a lap. And I was the last one back and struggling. And so then I joined running class with our local run store here, I Run in Stone
okay.
Oak. Mhm. And so I did just little short distances with them. And then there was a class coming up for half marathon. I was like, I don't know if I can do that. And anyways, went and did that. And then just kind of stuck with it since then. Then with one of those girlfriends, she wanted to do her first marathon for her 50th birthday. And she was a one and done. So did that. And then just, I was like, man, it took me so long to get to where I could do a marathon. Like we trained for a year.
Yeah.
I was
How
like,
long ago was this when you first started?
um, I want to say my first half was in 2016, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then we did our first marathon in 2019, like right before the pandemic. We did the December and
Was
then
it
pandemic
was it
happened.
on road or trail?
The marathon was Honolulu, so it was on the road, but it's Hawaii.
Oh
So
God, I
it was
didn't even
beautiful.
know this. Like I've known you for a year and I just did not know this. Oh my God, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
And so
Um,
then, yeah, then that's when I started at the trails after that. So like
okay.
the
Became really
roads were just
frustrated,
so hard on the body, right? You know,
which is probably
and
why
so
I'm injured right now. Well, I'm recovering. I think I'm going to try to run tomorrow.
yeah,
Yes.
good luck. Yes.
Oh my God. It's just been so frustrating. But anyway, um, so yeah, so what made you decide to go from, trail run, I mean, doing a trail, what, marathon or half marathon? What was your first big trail race?
The first 50K I did was um on a beach.
Ooh,
Forget the name of it now. Ultra Expeditions did it.
yeah.
But anyways, yeah, but so it was on the beach and it was sand. So same thing. I was like, I think the sand is going to be better for me than the road. So I tried that
As long
one,
as
and
it's
then
hard packed, yeah.
mhm.
And not like
And then
7 IL.
after that's when I started running with the
Ooh,
OR group. Right. Yeah. Like so I did
yeah.
that race and then started with OR after that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's such a great group. So, yeah, so when I met you, about a year or so ago, yeah, it was so funny. You and I were like we were in the 50K group for, San Antonio off-road runners for the people who don't know what OR is.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and you and I were sort of hanging back, kind of doing the walk run thing, and because most of the 50K people were, you know, running, and we're just kind of like,
Right.
yeah. And then we got talking and, found out, that we were both doing Snowdrop and all this. And it was like, oh my God, And so, yeah, that's how we became friends, was through that. And so tell me about your training experience with going towards Snowdrop. I mean, because for those who don't know, okay, let me just kind of back up a little bit. For those who don't know, Snowdrop is something that is done over New Year's weekend, okay, and it's a 55-hour race. The idea is to get at least 100 miles, okay, if not more, in the course of 55 hours, and you go around this like 0.667 mile track or loop, which is what, partial concrete, partial crushed granite.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and you go around and around, but they do give you meals, and it's very well supported and all that. So I mean, it's but it's not like it's like what, like well, I know it's at a park, but it's not a walk in the park. So I was so impressed though, because I mean, I've tried this, at least once, and I've done the relay a few times, and so it's hard mentally. So how did you get through, Oh God. And your story about Snowdrop always breaks my heart, but it's such a good story for people to know that I guess I need to
Right.
have you share that.
Well, so yeah, I that's part of why I did my recent race because I was like so darn close at Snowdrop, right? Like, I mean, you and I trained together, right? I mean, we did our run walk, we did our prepping, and I mean, you were way better than me at the walking portion, right? Like that's where I kind of failed was when I walk way too slow. So, but anyways, to get so close at Snowdrop, I think what is it, 145 was the number of laps we were supposed to get for 100, and
Yeah.
I got to 141, 142, somewhere in there. I'm not sure.
So close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then I was like, I was so close. And then I got pulled medically because I was having that old
Oh, the
trail runner's lean, right?
yeah,
Like I couldn't even
Marlene,
stand
yeah.
up, the electrolyte imbalance. And
Not
I
what that
even
is. Okay. All right. I
yeah,
didn't, yeah, we didn't know what that was. Yeah.
but that's what the medic said, right? She said it was your brain's the electrolytes are messing up the signals in your brain and stuff's not talking right. And so that's causing the lean.
And then you're
Anyways,
like
yeah,
falling at one point and then, yeah.
yeah.
So,
My
oh,
leg gave out, I fell down, but then I mean I got up and kept walking, but she was gonna let
oh.
me keep going until the second
Then you
time. And
ran
then
out of time too, right?
yes.
Because you were,
Well, I think I would have ran out of time. She medically pulled me before I ran out of time, but I don't know if I would have finished the last two laps, whatever, in the amount of
oh,
time I had left. So
yeah,
yeah.
that
But
was,
to be so close, I was like,
oh my
I was
God.
like, yeah. Um,
So mentally, what was your strategy at Snowdrop? Because again, you and I did that same race, and I mean, I gave up. And as you told me at one point, after I quit, you were like, maybe you just didn't want it, Which at the time I was sort of, I don't want to say hurt, but it was a sort of, she's probably right,
right, yeah.
Or you were right, because I probably didn't want it.
Well, yeah, no, and it wasn't meant to be mean. It's just like I don't know. You just gotta either I don't know. Same thing. You just gotta want to keep going, right? It sucks, right? And when you're as slow as we are, it takes that much longer to get there, right? I mean, like we have to be, I don't know, mentally strong, maybe more than physically strong, because like our mind's gonna give out before our body does,
Right.
just because of the amount of clock time, right? For us who aren't getting 150, 200 miles and going fast, and I don't know, yeah. So it just, I was heartbroken at the end though too, because I was
Oh,
like, to be that darn
oh
close
my
and
God.
then not get it, it's like, and my watch said 100, I guess, because I'd walked up to the car enough, or like, so I was like, well, technically I did 100 miles, but I didn't get that dang buckle for it.
Oh,
So
that's hard. I mean, yeah, I mean, with me, yeah, I mean, again, with me, my brain was broken and I just, yeah, I should not have attempted that year, and I'm not going to go back, but anyway, so what made you decide to, well, I think I know, but what made you decide to do this? What's it called? 6 days inside the dome?
6 days in the dome, yes,
In the dome.
because I was so dang close at Snowdrop. I was like, well, this one is 72 hours. I have more time. This one is
Yeah,
indoors, so therefore I'm not going to have heat issues. There was some, it's Texas, December, you never know, right? With Snowdrop, I got hot some at Snowdrop, so that impacted me too. But
sure.
this one was at an ice rink, so it was cold, like I was in layers, but it was temperature controlled. It was dry air. It was, so I was like, that's why I was like, I just want to prove that I can do it right now. I would not have qualified for Snowdrop because it did take me longer than 55 to get my 100. But I also went into that with an injury. I had a plantar fasciitis on my
Yeah,
foot.
I
And
was going to
so
ask you about that.
that impacted my training. I did not get the training I should have for
That's
that.
why I'm so
I didn't go
impressed. I'm like,
prepared.
so how's your PF doing now?
It's a little bit aggravated still, but same thing. I just really took, I would like at the beginning of it, I walk maybe hour and a half, 2 hours, and then sit for 5 minutes and then walk some more. And then it changed. I was sitting more and walking less. But
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's the same thing. I was like, I still gotta walk when I get home too. I don't want to like be hobbling at home. So I was trying to keep it managed, but still finish within the time limit I had. So I know I was good. I was still had several hours, but still I had 72, right? So
How long did it take you overall?
that's a good question. I don't know that I'd have to go back and look at my Strava or my yeah, because my watch died too. So
Well,
like I don't have it
well,
all
of
in
course it
one.
does. Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
that's normal. I mean,
It should have just recorded the whole thing,
I
and I
mean,
could tell
you did
you.
it, but you did it within that time frame. So
Yes. Uh-huh.
yeah, no,
Uh,
that's good. That's amazing. And I'm so impressed because and the fact that how long was that track or whatever that you were
oh, it
doing?
was even worse than Snowdrop. It was like 0.22 or 2.8 or something like that. So it was like almost four laps was a little more than a mile, right? So it was like
Oh,
600 and something, 630 laps to get my 100 instead of 145. It
oh,
was a lot more. But on the other hand, you see everybody so many times. Like they're,
right.
I don't know. Like if you knew people or if you met people, I don't know. It was very encouraging to
It's a
just,
little like, yeah, that sounds a little like jackalope because it's like that
mm-hmm,
was the thing I liked about jackalope is that you're passing people, every 3/4 of a mile. And so it was sort of, hey, it's not like Snowdrop where you're like,
mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because at
so
Snowdrop, if you're going the same pace as someone and you're on opposite sides, you could just never see
never
them unless
see
they stop to
people.
eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think that was one of the things that kind of really started to wear me down. I was like, wait, I wanted to be like uplifted by all my friends and,
Where
everything.
are they?
We know. And it's like, "Hey."
Right.
But so how did that, so it took you the whole 6 days then?
No, no, no. I signed up for the 72 hours. 6 days in the dome was like, there was a 6 day option, a 72, 48, 24.
Oh, got yeah.
So I
Okay.
did a 72. So I
Okay.
did 3 days in the dome. Yeah.
Just.
No, compared to six. Yeah, I
Yeah,
did not do six.
no, that's
But there were
incredible.
people doing six. There were people, like I started on a Tuesday. They had started on I guess a Saturday and went through Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So there'd
sounds
be
like
people.
it sounds like jackalope in a way. Yeah. So um and do they, I mean, it sounds like, because I was looking at the website a little bit, it sounds like it's similar to Snowdrop in that they give you meals at mealtime and things like that. Is that
Mhm.
correct?
Not
Yeah.
quite the quality of Snowdrop, but yes. I mean, they were still meals, but I mean, Snowdrop really does take care of you well.
Oh my God, I know. I love
Yeah.
all the food there. Yeah, I know. It's like, I'll just run for the food.
There you go. Yes.
So how did you mentally get through that though? Because I mean, obviously, did you sleep?
Yeah, I did sleep, and that was one mistake I probably made was they said there was like this room upstairs where you could set up your cot,
And
and
they
but
had
it was an open
showers.
room.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't know. What if somebody's in there snoring, or what if somebody's playing on their phone or whatever? Like, I want to sleep when I want to sleep. So it's like, okay, I'm just gonna set up my cot by my little staging area, right?
Sure.
But I didn't take into account, well, they're gonna leave the lights on all the time. They're gonna play the music all the time. Like, so
Oh,
it was a little bit of a challenge, and it was still cold. Like I
yeah.
had my blanket and my cot, but still I could feel the ice. I mean, the cold like coming up under my cot, and I don't
Yeah.
know.
Of
I didn't sleep well. Did I sleep? Yes. Did I sleep well? No, but I
course.
did get some rest.
Yeah. No, I mean, you have to, but um, so mentally, what was your strategy on this? Did you listen to music, podcasts, talk to other people, all of the above?
I took my headphones and I had my playlist downloaded, but you know what? Whoever chose the music did awesome. I was like, well, I like the tunes they're playing, so I was
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, I
enjoying the
saw that they
jams that
had
they
like a
picked.
like a loudspeaker. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's
And then
good.
there were ice skaters and things and hiking and stuff going on in the middle. So sometimes I was watching that as I was walking. I was, of course, talking to people if they were near
Distraction.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And
that's
at the beginning, with anything, right, you don't want to think about how far you have to go, right? You don't want to think, I got to do 100 miles, I got to do 600 loops. I just like, it's going to focus on, again, an hour. What can I do in an hour or whatever, like small
yeah.
chunks. And then towards the end, it was more like, okay, let's just do 5 loops or 10 loops. Or I
Mhm.
tried to do it by loops versus miles because it was just
I think that's
too
smart.
much.
Yeah. One thing Nevin told me, Nevin, right? One of our
I
coaches.
think so.
Yeah,
Mhm. Oh,
Nevin.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, one because she was like the star at Jackalope. She did like 150 miles at Jackalope.
Oh,
Yeah, I
nice.
know. Well, she did the 100-hour race. I don't know. Anyway, but she said she just didn't look at her watch. She just wasn't even thinking about it. And I was like, that's pretty interesting. That's an interesting strategy. I was like, all right, I'll learn something from you. So did your family come up with you to this thing or did you go by
Mm-mm.
yourself?
I went
Oh,
by myself. Yeah. So
yeah.
I didn't know anybody. Yeah. So all
Well,
alone.
that's hard. That's really
Yeah.
hard. I mean, not to, I mean, because I know that you are very supportive of your children and husband and whatnot, but That's tough. So were they texting you or anything, during all of this?
Well, I would text them updates. Like they kind of know like when I'm in my zone to just kind of
Yeah.
leave me be. I'll let them know if I need something. But yeah,
You're not
so,
watching a football game on your phone while you're trying to do
right. Yeah,
it.
that was that whole story there at
Yeah.
Brazos Bend. But yeah, no, what's this going? I did see there were other people who had their crews, right? Who like had their family there, like fixing their stuff. But again, I'm not like some elite runner that was going for some goal, right? Like I was just trying to,
Hey, you're just
or I
trying
wasn't trying to
to.
make the national team or whatever. I was just trying to get my dang 100, get my buckle, prove that I could, right? So,
Yeah.
but no, they didn't come. They just stayed here. And if I do a local one, then they tend to maybe come more. But when I travel, they don't usually go with me, no.
Well, it's all right. And in some ways that might be better, just in that sometimes they can be a distraction, or if
Mm,
people are getting anxious or bored or whatever, then you're like, oh God, you know,
right. Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm just imagining what that would feel like. So cool.
Well, that's it. Normally too, like, well, they did go to Hawaii with me, but same thing. They went for the Hawaii vacation
It's
initially
Hawaii.
for the rain, right? But even local ones, they'll come more like towards when I'm finishing. They're not there like crewing me and hanging out the whole time. They're like, they'll come cheer me on at the end or stuff. But then, yeah, I kind of do the stuff more on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that you finished, or did you always believe that you could finish? Because I mean, that's hard. I mean, that is a mentally challenging, and I'm not saying that you didn't have it in you, because I know you do. But I mean, did you ever kind of go, I don't know, do I want to quit? Or
Oh, well, sure. I wanted to quit, but no, I was like, no, if this dang foot doesn't stop me, I'm going to do it because I'm still just heartburned over Snowdrop, right? Like I was
I
like,
am for you too. Yes, no, I get it. I get it. I mean,
And I
that
really wanted to go and finish in like 50 and be like, see, I know I could do it, but I didn't. I was over. But again, I'm gonna try Snowdrop again and see what happens. But
really, are you going to do
yeah,
it this coming year?
yeah, in December. So
Yay. Well, I know,
I've at least got a buckle. We'll see if I get another one. But if I
yeah,
don't, I'm not gonna
no.
be upset about it. But I'm gonna go
Proud
and
of you.
try.
That's so exciting. Yeah, I mean, because yeah, I know Nevin and Christy and maybe somebody else from our off-road runners group is doing Snowdrop this year, and yeah, I'm bowing out this
Yeah.
year. Yeah, well, and that's just my own self-preservation, just kind of like, okay, this is the year that I take off, and then I think I've got one more 50K left in me, and then after that, probably not.
Right.
I always say that, but it'll probably be like, Rocky Raccoon or something near my birthday next year. So I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, so how did it feel when you crossed that finish line knowing that you had done 100 miles?
Oh, it was. Yeah. I was like, I didn't know if I should. I don't know. Part of me wanted to cry. Of course, I was
Of
smiling. I was
course.
happy. Like I was like, it's like that whole emotions going every direction, right? Like just so relieved to be finished, and then like, well, there's still time. Like I was like, no, I'm just done. I'm not gonna go for more.
Yeah, no. That's plenty. Yeah.
Like the top three girls in the 72 hour, the top two were run walking, and they were like 200 miles and stuff like that. Then the next girl, the third place girl was 116. I was like, I don't know. Do I have 17 miles left in me? Nah, I'm gonna stop at 100. So I got the buckle. That's what I came for.
No, yeah, no, that's amazing and incredibly admirable. Because again, I knew your training was kind of suffering just because I knew you were injured or whatnot. That's why I was
Mhm.
surprised. I was like, whoa, she did this.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, not like in a bad way, but I was like, I didn't even know about this. Not like you need to tell me everything, but I was just kind of like, whoa. I mean, I think you and I had talked during our training that you were going to be doing some sort of maybe a 50K or something, or 50 miler, I don't know, in the spring. And then we were kind of like, I don't know about that, and then, yeah, so this one kind
Yeah.
of grabbed me out of the blue, and I was like, whoa. And then one of my friends who runs the 10 Junk Miles podcast, he posted yesterday about how he would never do that sort of thing, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, one of my friends just finished it and gonna be on my podcast this week.
Yeah, I didn't I was gonna say I've done forgotten now. Yeah,
I'm so sorry, I talk too much.
okay. That's okay. You said something and I was gonna comment on it. Now I don't forgot. That's right. Keep going. Yeah. If it comes back to me, I'll say it.
All right, so are you going to be doing any local training coming up in the summer, fall, or are you just focusing on Snowdrop?
Oh, yeah, I went ahead and signed up with off-road again. And same thing. I signed up with the 50K, but I'm going to do exactly what I did with you. I'm going to do however many
Walk
miles
run.
I can do. Like if they're running whatever, but it's going to take them 2 hours, I'm going to do whatever I can do in 2 hours. Like I'm going to probably just
Time on
dial
your
it back. But yeah.
Yeah, I signed up for the 25K walk run because I saw that they had a group that was doing that, and so I was like, all right, I think I can do
Okay.
this.
Yeah. And I just signed up for the 25K at the Halloween one with the
Oh, the
um,
um
Rocky Horror,
Rocky
whatever.
Horror. Yeah, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one. Well, you know what? I don't think I can do that one because I think, God willing, if our magazine is a finalist, in a national contest, I might be in Atlanta that weekend, so I may miss.
Oh,
But yeah,
congrats. Yeah. Or
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
congrats.
yeah.
Hopefully
But
congrats.
yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, I hope. But yeah, no, I'm still planning to do a Wild Hair 25K. I still recommend that race just because it's kind of flattish, and I think you might enjoy it. You might want to do the 50K out there. Just saying.
Wild hair.
As a training run, because that's in mid-November, and so that might be a good training race, or an idea for a training race. Are you going to do Brazos 50 then?
That one too. I don't know. I did not sign up for Brazos.
Yeah. No,
Because
I'm just
again, I'm hoping that we're still playing football and that I'm not at Brazos watching a football game, that I'm at a football game.
God,
So
God love you. I swear, I admired you, last year because, you and I were like kind of, slogging it out, and, but you're sitting there watching your son's championship football game as you're trying to do a 50-mile race.
well, yeah, well, I had my head then too. I was like, well, they're gonna win this game and I'll just be the next one. I didn't know
And
that
they
that was gonna be
lost.
the one that ended it. Yes. But I also felt like I had to get the 50 miles. I really felt like for Snowdrop, I needed to do those miles to be ready for
Well,
Snowdrop. And then, we all know what happened to Snowdrop. But anyways,
well,
um, yeah.
we all get
And even
blessed.
too, we didn't even finish. Did was Brazos also? Did we cut that one short? Is that the one we only
Yeah,
did
we did.
half?
Yeah, we had,
Yeah.
I DNF'd at like 33 miles, I think, because I had just like these massive
We
blisters
all
on
had
my
blisters.
big
Yeah.
toes. Oh my God. And I never get blisters. And I was just like, all right, I got to save myself for the big game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and so did Orly and maybe Kathy. I can't really remember. But
I know
yeah.
you, me, and Ann all had stuff going on, and if they
Oh
did
yeah,
too,
and
yeah.
yeah, and dropped too, because I think she was trying to do the 100 out there, and yeah, I think she dropped like around 40 or something. But yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
it was hot. I mean, which is weird. I mean, the last two Brazos I've done, it's been hot. It's been in the 80s, and of course it's always humid, but previously it's usually cold. And so you're just like out there, trying to stay warm, and stay away from not the crocodiles, the alligators,
Alligators.
and all that. Yeah. So I mean, um, but yeah, that was hard to do it. Try to do a 50, because I've done a 50 miler out there before, but it was cold, and so
Hmm.
not hard. But anyway, wild hair. Yeah, let me know about that. Yeah, just let me know if you.
Okay, I'll look at that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's a
exactly
challenge
what you
race.
just said, it was hot out there. It was humid. That's exactly why I picked this other race because it was indoors and cold,
Yes, yes.
dry.
For the most part, yeah, for the most part, wild hair is. I mean, it can be a mixed bag because I know the first time I did the 50K out there, we got this. It was fine for the first two loops. You do four loops for the 50K, and all of a sudden you just start seeing these small clouds start to form. And then next thing you know, it's just like pouring rain, and then there's lightning flashing, and you're just like, oh shit, I hope they don't call the race. I want to be an ultra runner today. We were up to our ankles and shins in mud and water. I mean, it was
Oh,
the race director is out there lashing ropes to trees so we can get ourselves up a hill because it was so slippery. And I
oh
think
my
at one
goodness.
point I had just like crouched into like a skier position and just like, went down. It was nuts. But the cool thing about that was that it took the pressure off. It was like, it's my first 50K. Who cares? I'm gonna, it's gonna be a PR regardless. And you know, but it's cool because it's out on a ranch in Warda, Texas, which is north of LaGrange, you know, or just outside of LaGrange, Houston area. Um, and you run through a horse barn through each loop, which
Oh,
which I love. And there's longhorns out there, and I don't know, it's just my favorite race of the year. It really, I've been doing that race since 2012, and yeah, I just absolutely love it. That's where I did my first 50K, my first 50 milers. So I'm gonna work on you.
out here. Okay, I'll go check it out. Yeah, I'll at least go look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can come volunteer with me, maybe you know, in the future, and you can get a free race entry.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. Anyway, good God, shut up, Donna. Anyway, other goals for yourself. I mean, obviously Snowdrop, but anything else
Mhm.
beyond that? Have you thought beyond that? Or are you just kind of like, hey, one buckle at a time?
One book at a time. Yeah. Well, I still have my like run in every state kind of goal. So same
Oh
thing
yeah.
of like I started looking at, well, where do I want to go next year? Like, so I've gotten Wisconsin off the list with this year and a couple other ones.
Yeah.
And so, but my main goal for this year is just Snowdrop. And then I don't know next year, like I said last year, maybe I'm going to switch to hiking. Maybe I'm going to switch to rucking. Maybe I'm going to quit this crazy long stuff. And then what do? I sign up for 2 more. So,
Yeah. I
I don't know.
believe me, I've been there and I get it. Had I not gotten that injured, you know, or whatever, I'd probably still be like one. Okay, but yeah, like I said, but I
Yeah.
still think I got another 50K in me at least. So
Right. You're in the middle of it and you're like, oh, this is miserable. I don't want to do this anymore. But then as
I
soon as
can't
you
make a
leave, you sign up
decision.
for another one. Right.
Somebody once told me never make a decision about a race while you are doing a race. And so it's like, all right, that makes sense. I get it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good advice. Anyway, anything else? Anything else? Oh, please tell me what you do for a living. I know what you do, but I just need you to, you know, verbally say that.
Oh, I am a consultant software application designer architect. I meet with people, hear about their business processes and how we can improve them and solve them and help them with CRM application software. Then help
Okay.
design and implement that. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So I sit at the computer all day, so that's why I want to get out on the trails and stuff on the weekends.
Oh, I understand. But you've got, you know, two teenagers, right? And you
Yes.
know, has your oldest graduated? I can't remember.
No, next year's the senior year. So
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so you've got, yeah, two kids, a boy and a girl, and they're both
Mhm.
very active. You know, what your son is in football
Football and wrestling. Yeah.
and wrestling, and then your daughter's in like
Color guard. She does color guard with the
color
band, and
guard.
then
Yeah, I knew it
when
was something with flags, and I just couldn't remember what it's
football
called.
season's over, it switches to winter guard, so she's still flipping flags all year. And then she's actually pretty active with her Girl Scout troop and
Right,
a
yeah.
couple clubs in school too. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, and I think that's so well, you and I have talked about this privately, and we don't need to go into this, but I just think it's really admirable of you that you do spend so much time supporting your kids, even though you're, you know, training to do all this crazy stuff. You know, I mean, I think it's important that, you know, for your kids that you know, are there for them. And I think that's something to be
That's
said for that.
that's part of why it took me so long to get around to training for marathon too. Because when they were younger, I'd be like, no, I don't have time. Like I'm at football games every weekend or what, like our weekends were full with their activities. Now
Right.
it's more during the week. Like now high school football games are on Fridays and my weekends are a little more free now. So that's why I do have a little more time to train. And as you know, it takes me a while to get done my training. So yeah, better that I have the whole day to get it done. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing you out there in a few weeks with the SAR group, and you know, we can run hike together, even though I'm in the 25K group. You know, we can hang if you like. And
Yeah.
so
Well,
all right.
I very well may be doing the 25K distance sometimes too. Like that, I'll play it by ear and
No, it's
figure it
fun.
out as
No,
I
it's good.
go.
It's good to aspire. I know I've tried that. Yeah, I've done that a few times like you. You know, and it's like I already know my limits on this one. So, you know, it's good. It's good. So yeah, Wild,
Right.
I think is my goal race. So, you know, which is like a month after that one. So or 3 weeks, something like that. But anyway, all right. Thank you so much. Hang loose for one quick second.